All right. What's up, everybody? We're going to be starting this show in just a minute, but we got some special guests on tonight. We're going to be talking. Let's get these kids involved here in barbecue. We're going to do that here in just a second. Here we go.
With Chingon Barbecue, and you're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Salud!
Welcome to the Tom Wall VFW, and you're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Yeah!
There you go.
Just be crude. Hey.
Put some wrestling in it. All right.
Just be crude.
Here we go. 3,
2, 1. This is Cruz Ross with these Texas Smokers, and you're watching Bullhorn.
Sorry.
You got it, brother. Keep going.
It's all right. Go ahead. Go.
This is Cruz Ross, the pit baller of East Texas Smokers. You're watching the So Smokin' Gooder Show.
Yeah!
You got it, brother.
What's up, everybody? Good evening, Gooder Gang. Welcome to the show. You know what time it is. It's 8 o'clock on a Wednesday, March the 29th. We're coming into April already. Can you believe it? Hey, guys, thank you very much for tuning into to the show. My name is Robert Roach, and I am your show host of the So Smokin' Gooder Show. Thank you guys for checking in. However you found this, whatever you're doing, maybe some of y'all are on YouTube. I already saw a Twitch person, which is a record for as early as it is right now. And a lot of you guys are watching on YouTube right now on Facebook. Did I say that already? Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. There's a lot of us going on where you can find us on podcast as well. But however you found us, I appreciate you finding us. Thank you for the show. We have a great show tonight. We've got some. Oh my God, I just saw something come across my screen. I'm sorry. We've got Tait and Scott Stanush. I'm just kidding. I'm messing with Scott over there. Scott Stanush. We've got Shawna Roppolo, and we've got our special co-host of the evening tonight, SteveJimenez. You guys know Steve. I haven't had Steve on in the show for a while, but we're going to have him on here in just a minute. But you know what we got to do first? We got to thank you guys for watching the show. We're going to go out to shout out to our Gooder gang right now. And Carlos Calzada was first in. There he is. Let's give him proper props up, Gooder gang. There he is. Daddy Dutch was next. My pits are burning. Kevin, you are coming on the show, my man. This guy's killing it out there. It's Kevin Hernandez. If you guys don't know, he's checking in from YouTube. I saw this earlier. It made me smile here. Christian Contreras watching. Christian, I hope you are doing well. If you guys don't know, Christian was in a major accident recently, but he is on the mend and he's watching this show. And I appreciate you checking in with us, man. I hope you're doing well and continue recovering, buddy. We'll see you on that competition trail soon enough. Got my producer, my man right there, Ty Cobb in the background. Michael Sistruck Heller. You, Cassie Strohmeyer. She says, good morning from Australia. Yes, she is in the future checking in. Our co-host from last week, Aaron Leslie, checking in right now. Johnny Maggs, what's up? Steve Cumby, how are you? There he is, Kevin and Greg Minotti checking in as well. Rockin' A Grill and Supplies. And there it is right there, our first Twitch comment of the evening coming in at 8:01. Wow. Jared McCrory, what's up? Buzz Barbecue, Cherry Anchor Barbecue. We got Raz Braz. That's a new one. What's up, Raz? How are you? Tom and Belle Clark checking in. Hello from the Tomball VFW. We opened with the Tomball VFW, so you know what you guys got to do. After you're watching it, you got to drink. Robert Michelle, Grady Speed. Got to see Grady this past weekend. And Cassie checking in. It's Thursday here. My hump days has been gone. Yes. Uwe Braun checking in. Carly, how are you, Carly? Let's see who else we got. We got Serge. That's a new name. Odessa, Texas here with Last Roundup Barbecue. All right. What's up, dude? How are you? Welcome to the show. James Dodson. Hello. Erica must be behind the scenes being late and all. Was I late? I'm not late. It was right on time. Grant Pinkerton. Congratulations. This man had a grand champion in Alvin. We'll be talking about him a little later, but man, 193 teams. Congratulations, Grant Pinkerton. And yes, it is that Pinkerton that you've seen in San Antonio and Houston, Pinkerton's Barbecue. Dean Henry, hello. Tim Kirkendall, Mark McCandy, Canless, what is up? Kenneth Steele, man, there's so many y'all checking in. Bo Daniel, got to see him. Anna Bryce, AJ Garza, Minotti Woodcrafters, all in. Look what's behind me right there. There it is. Fine craftsmanship over at Minotti Woodcrafters. That is James Minotti. For those that don't know, he's with Chillin' and Grillin', a fine barbecue competitor himself. That right there is the latest and greatest. That is a buckle case that he's done. And it lights up. But when it lights up right now, it's really bright on the screen. So I'll show you a little later how bright that is. It's amazing. So, James, thank you so much. Guys, if you want to check in with something like that, I will get you in contact. There he is right there. Hit that man up right there. Larry Vaughn, how are you? Amy Wilson, how are you? Crooked Crowns checking in. John Rodriguez. All right, let's go. We're getting there. Hashtag blowing smoke. AP Rub. Another. Oh, that's Ty. Ty checking in from Twitch as well. Thank you, Ty. All over the place. Ty's all over. Renee, what is going on? My dog's walking back here. Sebastian, Matt Carr, and all right, I got through it right there. And Raul Gonzalez. What's going on, everybody? Thank you guys so much for checking in the show. You know what I ask? If you please share this thing. We've got some great guests on tonight. We're going to be talking barbecue. We're going to be talking kids' cues as well. And we're going to be talking about what happens after kids' cue. A lot of us have kids growing up in this sport. We've seen it all over. We've got my kids have grown up doing this thing. And now what do they do after the kids' cue? They can enter, competitions just like we do. But there's a nice little high school push going on right now. We're going to talk to Tait Stanush, and he knows all about it. We'll get him on here shortly. But before I get to any and all of that, I got to introduce my co-host for the evening. This guy has been on the show before. It's been a little while, but we're happy to have him back. You guys know Mr. SteveJimenez from High Strung Barbecue and the founder of Kids Q Nation. Steve, how the hell are you, brother?
Man, I'm doing good, Rob. How are you?
I'm great, brother. It's great to see you. I know you're not in San Antonio right now, I don't believe, but how are things? What's new with SteveJimenez? And I know a lot of people know you out here, but some may not. You know, it's been a little while since you've been on the show, but please introduce yourself. Where are you at? Where are you from? What do you do? And give the peeps what they want to know, my man.
Awesome, man. Well, first, thanks for having me on the show, man. I appreciate it. We've been friends for a long time, shared a lot of fun together. You've been a great brother to me, man. You were there for me in some difficult parts of my life. So you and Diane will always have a special place in my heart. I mean it, man. Like we all talk barbecue family, but look,
hey, don't make me cry. I make people cry on the show.
No. You don't understand. Like everybody talks barbecue family, and there is a barbecue family. But I truly have that with you, man. You've been wonderful to me. You've been great, Shawna. And look, man. So I'm Steve Jimenez. I'm from San Antonio, Texas, and I'm not in Texas today. I'm coming to you live from Stonewall, Louisiana. So I've been in barbecue for, what is it, about 13 years now. I just saw a memory on Facebook today that popped up from our first event in Alice, Texas.
13, wow.
Yeah, 13 years ago. I didn't even realize it had been that long. So I'm very fortunate. I've been in this for a while, cooked with a lot of good people. Let's see. So High Strung came about approximately, I'd say about 9 years ago. That's Scott and I. Scott will be on a little bit, but we cooked for a lot of years together, had some great fun, cooked on a couple of really good pits. Started off with a rusty old double barrel pit from a buddy of mine, Aaron Viagran. Then we moved up. Scotty went and got us an awesome one-man pit that we cooked on for several years. Walk-on trailer. That thing was massive. We won a lot of grand champions with that pit.
Great
pit. About 5 years ago, went and got a pit maker and love that pit. It's beautiful. It cooks nice. And so, we cooked for a lot of years together. Had a great time. And then about 4 years ago, I started cooking more SCA events, more steak comps. Really just fit my lifestyle. And, nothing against barbecue. I love barbecue. It's just the time commitments that it takes. You know what it is. It's a week-long commitment process for a barbecue contest.
Yeah.
Whereas a steak, it doesn't take – I can get ready on Thursday, leave on Friday, and be home Saturday night. It's a really quick turnaround. But been running around in the steak world lately and trying to get back into some barbecue when time permits. The plan for this year is to get back into barbecue where time permits. It's tough right now, but definitely want to get back into some barbecue competitions.
What are you thinking? How many are you wanting to do this
year?
If
I could be 4 or 5 this year, I'd be thrilled.
Oh, you did? I saw you in Uvalde, and you were cooking at the San Antonio Rodeo. I mean, if you're going to dive in, why not do 2 of the largest contests that we have and some of the strongest contests that we have?
Hey, man, go big or go home, right? I mean,
how did that experience go, man? Like you said, you kind of been out of it for a few years, but how was that? I know Scott was with you there, and Shawna and Tait. They were all with you there. How'd that go?
Yeah, so Uvalde was an awesome opportunity because Scott and I have cooked it for years, and Wade's always been gracious and had us out for our Kids Qs. We've had some of our largest Kids Q events there, and he had us back this year for one. And I thought, this is a great opportunity because Tait had been cooking and started to cook a little bit. And I thought, man, look, let's the 3 of us come out and cook. And we'll each do a category. So I approached Scott about it, and first thing he says is, well, let me check with Tait on his calendar. It's like, the kid's 16. Just tell him where he's going for the weekend. But, Tait's he's 16 now.
That works that way, bro. I got teenagers too. Yeah.
Yeah. He's 16 now and he's got his life. And so sure enough, he comes back as, we're in. And so it was really awesome, man. Like, you take a kid that I've known since he was probably 4 years old and watched him grow up with us cooking. He's cooked with us. He's cooked Kids Q. And then to turn around and cook Uvalde with him, and he's our brisket cook. That was fun, man. That was a awesome experience for me. And it was really great to have Shawna with me. We were cooking the ribs. Scott was cooking chicken, and truth be told, Tait cooked the chicken. But it was an awesome event. And then lo and behold, I get to be next to this guy from Cypress, Texas, who's coming in hot Friday night for the steak cook-off.
I was coming in hot, yes. I was.
And he says, "Hey, do you have a hot pit?"
And it's all legal, people. Yeah, it was the jackpot. And yeah, I was coming in hot, and I needed a hot pit, and Steve was already had his PK going, doing steak, which is what that turn-in was on Friday night in Uvalde. And I was able to, I got it done, man. I think I pulled in at like 5. Steak was due at 6. I pulled in like at 5:36 with nothing unloaded. I had to park, find my spot, do all of it, and I turned it in at 6. And would have been a cool story had it walked, but it did not. It did not walk that night. But man, yeah. So we have known each other for quite a while, bro, and it's great to. If I knew you'd get stuck with Steve, I'd have come out of retirement. There he is, Case Hahn checking in. I went to lunch with that man today. It was great to see Case. Yeah, I'm not stuck with Steve. He's the special co-host, and I invited him, Case. You know, Case, I want Case to do a special co-host, but he says no. I'm done. I'm out.
Well, I thought that was a mandatory retirement for Case. That's what I was told.
He is enjoying retirement. He's tailgating, park jumping, doing all kinds of stuff over there. Yeah. But yeah, so we have known each other, and I've seen you do well in barbecue comps, and I've seen you now dip your feet in the SCA. You're not so much dipping your feet. You are all in there. Let's talk about that before we get Tait and Scott on. You mentioned it, and you kind of mentioned the differences of why it's working for your lifestyle right now. You've done well in the SCA, brother. It's a growing organization. I don't know what the numbers are. I know it's big. And the World Championships y'all just had in Fort Worth, I think, was there 400? Is that I heard 400 teams out there?
420 is what I was told.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And y'all all convened in Fort Worth, Texas, and had your World Championship. How did that go?
Tell you, man, it's an awesome experience, and I liken it to the Royal in the sense of you have teams from all over the world and teams from all over the country, teams you don't see a lot, but that one time a year in Kansas City. You know, I've been there with you, and there's those certain teams you see every year. It's the same thing here in the World Championship in SCA. And it's in Fort Worth, and it's an iconic place in Texas. You got the stockyards, you've got Billy Bob's, and then you've got this Will Rogers Memorial Center that's got great grounds for this. And so you have 420 people that have qualified at a qualifying event to receive a golden ticket and then convene on Fort Worth in March. And I'm going to tell you, it's a great time. They start off with a nice awards banquet on Thursday night. And then this year they had an ancillary World Championship too. So they start that on the preliminary round for that on Friday. Friday is our stockyards night. We go out to the stockyards and enjoy Fort Worth, have a few beers, and then come back and get ready to cook. Saturday's go time, man. And it's mad chaos. You've got 420 teams broken up into 9 groups, and you've got to place in top 10 in your group to advance to the finals on Sunday. So last year, my goal coming into last year's finals was just to make the finals. And fortunate, blessed to get that opportunity. I got to cook in the finals on Sunday. Didn't do as well as I wanted. I think I was 35th or 36th on that Sunday. Yeah. So before we left there, I told Shawna, I was like, next year, my goal is to walk on Sunday. I don't care what it's going to take. I'm going to walk on Sunday next year. So going into the year this year, that was my mindset. Then all of a sudden, Shawna's daughter, Emma starts playing travel softball. Well, that takes up quite a few weekends, which is a lot of fun for us to go travel and watch her play. But it also takes up some of our time on weekends. So the opportunities to win a golden ticket kind of thinned out a little bit. I don't think I got mine until October in Alabama. And then Shawna got hers in Beaumont, maybe in November, December. No, I'm lying. She'll have to correct me on that. But she got hers toward the end of the year too. Yep. So that was it, man. Now we have the opportunity to go to Fort Worth and go cook. That's all I wanted. I mean, we had already reserved the RV spot, rented an RV. We didn't even have a golden ticket when we did that. But we were going to go either way, right?
Confident, baby. Confident.
So we get there and you check in. And like I said, it's chaos. You got 9 different groups, and you've got to check in on your right time, go to your right meeting. The color of your chip determines your meeting, and you go pick your steaks. Man, I was at the end of the line. And I'm not a big fan of picking at the end of the line.
Look who's checking in right there. Yannick Thomas. Oh. Hope to see you all at SCA, CBA, and Kids Q Nation, folks, in October in Tomball. PHA. They're going to be at the Tomball VFW drink. Yeah. So thanks for checking in, Yannick. So that's pretty amazing. And so you set your goals, you accomplished them. What's your goal for next year?
Top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10. So, we go cook on Saturday. I turn in my steak, and Shawna's like, what do you think? And I'm like, I was confident in the steak, but I'm like, it's not a championship steak, I don't think. We'll see, right? I overcooked it. I had to stop the cooking action on it. So go turn it in. And we go to awards for the preliminaries. And yeah, man, they call the number, go up, and I'm excited. I made the finals again. This time it was different, man. We didn't go out Saturday night. We went back to the camper, went to sleep, got up Sunday and cooked. Same thing, cooked the steak. I thought I had a really good steak, and everything went fine. My timelines were good. It wasn't my best steak, and I knew it. And so she asked again. I was like, no, not a championship steak, but it should be all right.
Yeah.
Sure enough, man, tied for 14th place, straight solid tie with four of us for 14th place in the world. And I'll tell you, there's like nerves are going on, and I didn't realize what was going on because they're calling 4 numbers at a time to come up. So my buddy Matt Krennic's like, dude, go up there. I'm like, for what? What are they calling me for? He's like, who cares? Get up there. So go up there
on Sunday.
Yeah. So go up there and find out 14th place. We tied it at 253.4 overall score. Keep in mind, a perfect score is 254.5. So that means there's only 1.1 difference in between 14th place and
14th. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. So as I'm sitting up there, it's just kind of sinking in. They hit the goal, walked, and then you see other people walking on stage that Brandon Patterson, Jason Mazonik, Paul Brown, Sonny Lynn. You see these guys, people that we've met, and I'm like, it's really cool to be up here with these folks on stage.
Minotti's checking in. It says Matt Krennic was his son's college roommate. Nice. Very cool.
Yeah. And so it was a really cool feeling. But like I said, next goal, top 10. I'd love to be in that top 10.
All right, Steve. We've checked in on you now. We're going to talk some more SCA at the end of the evening. A lot of these guys are barbecuers, but they don't know how the SCA world works. And when we bring Shawna on later in the show, definitely going to talk about that and how to get involved and what the SCA is all about. So, but before we get to that, we're going to have Tait and Scott Stanush, and we'll bring them on in just a minute, guys. Hang on one more minute. I gotta mention our sponsors because I appreciate these guys, and I know Steve knows quite a few of these right now, so I want to make sure that they get their proper love. And last week I did mention Aaron Leslie. Shout out to Aaron Leslie with Texas Oil Dust. He was an amazing co-host. Aaron, if you're still watching, thank you very much. You brought it. It was amazing. And our guest host was Charles Tant from Berry to Bone. That was it was a fun show for everybody. I think we had a great time. And I think a lot of the people that were watching got a lot out of it because I got a lot of contacts that, hey, man, that was a great show. I learned a lot from that show. So, that's part of this. We like to do that and, talk. And I know Steve's going to throw some knowledge out there too later, and Shawna. And of course, we got Tait and Scott coming on. So y'all sit tight. We got a good one here, but let's do the sponsor shout outs real quick to Rec Tech. They're one of my go-tos. You see a lot of Rec Tech bullseyes out on the circuit at all, Steve, in the SCA?
Not as many. I mean, I've won a couple of first place on that thing before.
Yep. Cosmo's Q products. They have been bringing it for me. I got to see Cosmo at the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo. Of course, we just talked about the Uvalde Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads in Uvalde, Texas. That's coming up again December 8th and 9th this year, 2023. Make sure you put that on your calendar. We just talked about Aaron Leslie. We had Aaron on the show last week. Just brought the house. It was amazing. He started the show last week, a little different than you did, Steve. He said, "What up, bitches?" That's how he started it. Eureka Heights Brew Company. I am drinking some Eureka Heights Brew Company right now. This is something light. It's a great beer. Find it at your local HEB. Got Texas Pepper Jelly. Case is still in the comments right now. Number 1 ambassador, Mr. Case Hahn from Texas Pepper Jelly. And then you can find all of these LC Barbecue, Texas Pepper Jelly. We got Texas Oil Dust, Cosmos. You can find it all at the barbecue store in Hempstead. It's hashtag where you go to win. Manuel, if you're still watching, you opened the show, my man. How are you, buddy? You are watching. There it is right there. And Steve, talk about Texas Original Charcoal. Now that it's doing well in the barbecue scene, how's it doing out in the SCA scene?
It started to take off. Joey's been a good friend and certainly shared that with me and used it at the World Championship. I saw a few other guys using it. It's starting to make its appearance on the SCA side. Yeah,
I'm seeing it in a lot of camps right now. A lot of guys are using it right now on the barbecue side, and they're doing well right now. A lot of that proved it in Beeville and the Hornet's Nest. I didn't. I'll talk about that in a little while. LC Barbecue. My good friend Phil Breeden just continues to innovate and bring some great quality products out on the scene. He just introduced 2 new rubs within the last couple of weeks, Honey Hole and Texas Hill Country. If you guys have not checked those out, contact the barbecue store. It's where you can find it. Clark Compression and Components. Miss Belle Clark is watching right now. She is also a recurring co-host. She'll be back on here real soon. But you can find Clark Compression. If you guys are in oil and gas, you need any kind of natural gas compression needs, contact Clark Compression and Components. Summer Moreno, I talk about this young lady all the time. This is where you can get insured, man. Insure yourself, insure your barbecue toys, all of your pits, your grills, your toy haulers, whatever it is. She can do it. And I just saw Jen Lee in the comments. She was on Johnny Mag's show yesterday from the Pit Life Barbecue podcast, talking about the Big Danny Dietz Memorial Classic, which is coming up in September. It's going to be at the Yogi Bear. I forget the full name of it, but the Yogi Bear Water Park, the park out there in Waller, Texas. It's going to be a KCBS event. That's going to be in September. And of course, my day one, B1 right there, Bull Printing Wraps and Graphics, where you get all your banners, signs, wraps, cards, business cards, decals, whatever you need. They can get it done. Tell them that the Bullhorn Barbecue team sent you over there from the So Smoking Gooder Show. All right. That is out of the way. If Ty can pull that down for me. All right. It's time to bring on your good friends, your former, I guess y'all are still cooking together like you just did in Uvalde, but let's bring them on right now. Scott and Tait Stanush. How are you guys?
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Yeah, let's go. Cheers. Right here. Steve, are you drinking?
A little bit.
Oh, there. A little bit. What's up, Tait? You should not be drinking. Bad examples as we're talking about Kids Q. we're like, hey, cheers, guys. Let's go. Let's shout it out. You got any shots back there? Are you throwing shots down too?
Well, we only do shots after he wins a few GCs. So
there you go. He's well on his way.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show. Scott, welcome to the show. This is y'all's first time to be on the So Smoking Gooder Show. Please introduce yourself. Let them know. Steve kind of mentioned you a little bit, Scott, but let's talk about this young man and you. Go ahead, Scott, and then we'll bring
Steve stole my thunder on his intro. So
right?
We did a lot of good things at barbecue, and then he, of course, found steak, found that love. So hey, can't blame him. So he's doing well. But the man right here next to me, he's taken the High Strung banner, everything that he's ever learned, watched from all the friends and all the folks, but being on that trailer with us all those years and being in the way, kind of in the way, but not really, learned a lot of good things. And, he's well on his way to making his own mark in the barbecue world.
He absolutely is for those that don't know, he is the 2023 San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo Junior Grand Champion. What do they call that? The Junior Challenge, right?
Junior Pitmaster Challenge champion.
Pitmaster Challenge champion. This is not the kids' cues that you see, at a regular contest. This was a full-blown barbecue contest from chicken, ribs. I'll let Tait explain everything, but this was not just a regular kids' cue. These are high school teams from around, I guess, Texas that competed at this competition. Tait, take it away, man. Introduce yourself, my man. You've been watching, like you said, your dad just mentioned you were in and around. You've been in this barbecue scene probably much from what you can remember, right?
Yeah, I've been around a while, but my name's Tait. I attend Smithson Valley High School. I'm a junior there. I like to climb, but when I'm not climbing, I'm always cooking with my dad here, and we're always practicing for like upcoming events that are coming in the future, like Neil's and Palm Fest coming up in May. And yeah, that's
awesome. So being around it as a kid, what are your first memories of just even not so much cooking, but just being around this thing?
Yeah, just being around, when like old cook-offs, when they were cooking together, I would just watch and learn, I guess. And then when they introduced the Kids Q stuff, and then he put me into it, and I started doing all that by myself. And then I started like getting more walks. And then he introduced me to, the bigger cook-offs like San Antonio and just like different events that I could do all the time in practice. And it really helped me. But like watching from the start really helped me. Like,
it's helped you learn, obviously. Yeah. So Steve and I talk about this all the time. Those Kids Q events are, they're competitive, right? The kids that go in there are really, they want to win. What do you remember about learning about your competitiveness or being that? Were you nervous in doing those things, or were you obviously you wanting to win and you did well? You did. I remember seeing some of your trophies. You've done well doing that, but talk about what that does for a young person. We've got young ladies and young men that are doing these Kids Q events, but it kind of brings into that competitive fire. And obviously you wanted to win, but do you remember those days? And what do you remember about those days competing against other kids?
Yeah, I remember those days when, we just go out there and cook for just an hour or two, and then all the pressure that it put on you. But like, obviously you wanted to win. And, if you didn't want to win, then why are you there?
I love it. Absolutely.
It was just like, if you didn't win, obviously I was a kid, you'd go and cry to your parents because, you love cooking. And if you didn't win, it just sucked because, you could have done better. But, there's always a next time that you can do it.
Absolutely. Steve, you got anything you want to?
That he just nailed what we've been preaching to Kids Q Nation for 9 to 10 years is you're not going to win every event. And I think this is one thing that in any Kids Q environment, not just Kids Q Nation, these kids and sometimes their parents get really upset because their kid doesn't do as well as they thought they were going to do. And a lot of what we're trying to teach them is not just how to cook or how to be outside. It's what do you do when you don't win? How do you overcome that? What are you going to do the next time? And so a lot of what we preached to Tait and the kids at that age really was get mad. It's okay to be mad. We get mad as adults when we don't win, but we don't let it ruin our day. We don't let it ruin our night, right? We'll still go celebrate with the other teams that do well. But go back home, practice, and come back out.
Guys, I've seen some guys still trying to learn that. But go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, look, it's really, really cool to hear him say that.
Yeah.
And just to follow up on that, when one of the first few times he didn't do well, he was visibly upset. Not in front of everybody. Of course, we did it with the shame on the other side of the curtain. But pork chops were by design. They're easy to practice. They're a cheap piece of meat for us. So we would cook 20 pork chops in 1 week, and we worked hard at it, or he worked hard at it. We did different things, tried different things out, practiced, and that next time out, he hit his first GC. So practice pays off. That's what we tried to drive, and I'm sure they still do. I mean, because that's one of the foundations that we learned back in high school and junior high, coming up through football and everything else that Steve and I did. So,
and don't let Tait fool you. This kid was he was, if not our first or second, but I think his first points championship for Kids Q Nation. So he's consistently been learning and performing on his own cooking, and now you look at him, and now he's gone and he's won an adult contest at Palm Fest last year. I need him to tell you more about that. But then he's gone in and won the junior Pitmaster challenge at the Rodeo. He's got some awesome hardware that he's won.
Yeah, and hats off to you, Steve, for bringing that to making a league that kids can go and do that each and every weekend or whenever you're able to do it. We've seen other leagues that have started like that, but you were one of the first ones. You're pioneering doing that and having, bringing these kids and having, I remember you had a points chase at the time, and these kids out there, they experience, the highs and the lows. Like Cassie says, it's teaching them some skills about, not just winning, but it's also teaching them skills on how to accept, failure and losing, and not so much failure, but, just not getting a call. You feel bad. I feel bad right now. Last weekend, I was in that same boat. But it does. It's something that you have to learn, and your league, your organization, Kids Q Nation, is teaching these kids that right there. So Tait has done well in the Kids Q Nation, and now he has graduated, I believe. Right? How old are you now, young man?
I'm 16.
You're 16. Okay, my son is 15, and he is. So talk about how do you find or let's talk about these barbecue associations for high schoolers. How do you find them? How do you get involved? Where are they located? I don't, what's the, how did your school start this thing? Were you a part of that, or how did that happen?
Well, I've always known about the high school through my high school, and I was going to join the high school team, but they weren't, the best. Not how to put that.
No one watches
like-
this show. Just bring it
Yeah,
bring
yeah.
it real here. No, I'm just kidding.
They weren't the best. I was like, okay. So, he found me the high school team, and I was actually the only kid who wasn't like in a high school team affiliated. And I was just solo. Like, I had a partner, obviously, but we were just, no one's allowed to help us. No one's allowed to do anything. Like, any adults, they can be in a tent, but they can't touch anything, do anything. It's all us. We have to tend the fire, everything. And
So you went in this contest against other high school teams, but you had a partner there that weekend, right?
yeah, I had a partner.
And so it was just y'all two against these groups of teams, right?
Yeah, there was multiple groups, like 5, 6 groups, 3 groups, all ranging from 2 to 6 people per team.
Nice. How many teams were competing in the San Antonio event?
I think 47.
Oh my goodness, that's a large contest. And they had obviously probably high school coaches, right? They go out with them and can coach them, but not do the work. Did you have a coach out there at that time, or were you just y'all two doing?
Nope, it was just me and my notes.
That is impressive. That is very impressive. So let's but you're not part of the high school team, right? Or are you now? Did they didn't try to recruit you? Try to get you back on?
No, I didn't.
No, their team sponsor knows better to come and ask. We've talked before. I was like, nah, no, I don't think so. So,
Scott, what do you know about these high school? Because there's a lot of people, like I mentioned, we've got kids that have grown up in this deal, and we want them to continue learning. Now, obviously, they can come with mom and dad and do a contest, but it's fun. Like Tait, he could have been, he's a leader now in showing that he's obviously won multiple contests. But how can somebody that has had that experience in the kids Q world, like Steve has shown, how can they take that to a high school team, or how does that happen? Do you know how those things form?
Honestly, I do not. When we were on our last few years, or I was hanging around Kids Q, Texas High School Barbecue Association was taking off, and Steve was working with them more. So Steve's probably more qualified to answer that question about what they do. And I know the processes are completely different. You get your meat in the morning. You can't prep. You can't bring in these $200-300 briskets that we cook.
Yeah.
So, but Steve can answer that question for sure.
Go ahead, Steve.
Yeah. So you've got a couple of different organizations right now out there. You've got the National High School Barbecue Association. Mike Erickson he started Texas High School Barbecue Association, then he's moved it to a national level now. And they've got competing events throughout the state of Texas. A lot of them are affiliated with the high schools. And so it's typically you just go to their website, find their links and register. You got to have a school sponsor that will go out with you, an adult sponsor that goes out. And those teams are typically through a CTE program at the high schools. And it's usually a group of kids, and they've got several categories. They got your main 3 meats, but they'll typically have beans, a dessert, and maybe a side or an appetizer on top of that. And like Scott said, they can't get their meats ahead of time. They can't bring in their competition meats. They're going to show up there Saturday morning, I think at 5 or 6 in the morning, and then they go to a meeting, get their meats, and come back and prep and cook. It's a really, really tightly run organization. Mike's done a good job with it. And they're growing. He's got a national championship he's setting up for the high school organizations. It's really something to look into. And, organizations like San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo, where they're putting on their own high school event now, it's just really giving these kids an opportunity to grow from the steak or the pork chop that they cook and then go into the 3 meat category. And one thing that I don't want to miss on this for Tait and his partner won a $10,000 scholarship through San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo by winning that event. So his educational future is really backed now by his ability to cook. I mean, that type of opportunity to win that kind of money at this age for cooking some meat, that's pretty cool.
That's amazing. So, Tait, were you able, since you're not associated, were you able to bring your own meats to this event, right?
Yes, I was.
Wonderful. So talk about the day. It's San Antonio Rodeo was kind of chilly, I believe, that weekend. What time did y'all start? Did you start lighting your fires and doing all that and showing up there? Were you there the night before? Were you camping out in the tent? What were you doing there?
We stayed actually at the cook-off, like the main cook-off in an RV, and waking up at like 4 a.m. I think you got me up at. I was just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And getting the fire started around 5. I had all my notes set out. I knew what I had to do like throughout the day. And, there were some problems throughout the day, like my chicken pit wasn't getting hot enough. And I solved those problems. And, it all eventually ended up working out all right in the end.
I'm sorry. So your chicken pit wasn't getting hot enough? Is that what you said?
I don't know what was going on. I had it set for like, obviously the fire starter, the everything charcoal, poured it in, and then I waited about 15 minutes. I'm like, oh shoot, this is not getting hot enough. And then I just decided to throw them on, and I'm like, okay, they're still not getting hot enough. So I just threw some wood chips in there, and eventually it got going. And then I did make turn in like 5 minutes left.
Nice. So you had your first hiccup in your first category.
Yeah.
Then you still had ribs and chicken. How did those two go for the rest of the contest?
Those actually were a lot better. I could feel like the brisket getting more tender throughout the day. I knew it was working. Everything was like perfect, and the fire was perfect throughout the day. No more problems on the main pit, and the ribs were obviously pretty good too.
So, Rob, ask him what he was cooking on out there at this competition.
You ask him. You're the co-host.
No, I know what he was cooking on. I was there.
Well, what were you cooking on in the competition, Tait?
You talking about the chicken pit or the other one?
The main one.
Oh, you know the main one.
Yeah, the main one.
He can't pronounce the name.
He was the only kid at the competition with a pit maker.
Yeah.
Hey, bring it, right?
And that's one of those things I tell him. You go in there with lack of better equipment, better, higher quality meat. I told us at this point, just don't mess anything up. That's all you do. So then he ran the program like he's supposed to and knocked it out of the park with a first place brisket to walk off with it. That's a second walk off brisket, first place, and just to win the GC. So
beautiful. Was it?
We're all in the background. Steve's there. He's crying, and I'm crying. Andy's crying. Everybody's crying.
I didn't cry.
Oh, whatever. Come on.
No, Tait. Look, Tait didn't have any shoes left. Scott paces at awards, and this is funny to watch if you've never seen Scott at awards. But he will not sit down. He paces. Tait doesn't pace. Tait jogs. I swear. And he's biting his nails. Oh my god! Oh my god! So you see that passed down. But it was fun to watch him. And what was really fun was to watch him and Scott at the same time.
Nice. Sorry, my dog is like trying to get out of here. So, Steve, asking one more question. I'm gonna let my dog out. Can y'all hear her? She's like, "Get me the hell out of here!" 1 second. So,
Tait, tell me, I guess, how did it feel? Cooking that event. You're watching these people with multiple people on their teams, and then it's you and Alex. Talk to me about your thought process, seeing everybody with the coach and everybody else there. How did you handle that? What was your source to keep you going there?
Well, when we were first setting up, I started seeing all these teams pile up with all their coaches and all their trucks and all their pits. I was like, okay, this is serious. This is these high schoolers know what they're doing. And it was just kind of underwhelming, but it was I know what I'm doing. I've practiced this a million times, just throughout my life. And I knew what I was from watching y'all just cook all the time. I knew that I could do it. And with my trusty notepad that I had with that
notepad, look,
we would write down.
Let's be real. I think that's part of what I was getting to is be real. These aren't just a notepad. You had very specific notes. You don't have to tell us what's in your notes, but talk to us. Tell me, this was a specific game plan you came in with.
Yeah, it was the fire needs to stay at 275 the whole day through 300. At 11:30, do this. At 12, do this. At 12:10, do this. Because I don't have it memorized yet. Unlike y'all with 10 years experience, just go do this.
Yeah. So I saw him at Uvalde with these notes, and it's meticulous, and it was a great game plan. And this is what I mean. This is the type of thing that I think with the Kids Q environment, they grew up. Scott and Tait grew up working together and cooking together these events. As Tait's going on to this level, Scott's really assisted him with a foundation in these game plans to work with. And it's moved up and it's stepped up throughout the years. So that to me was really impressive to see in Uvalde, just them two work together. Shawna and I got to sit back and just watch them. And oftentimes I'll tell her, like, look at this, or watch this. It's just to see the dynamic play out. You're muted, Rob.
Damn dog. Got me muting my mic. Tait, I'm very impressed. And I heard Steve mention earlier, you are starting to cook some adult contests, right? And did you win one? Is that what I heard? Did you win last year?
I did win the Palm Fest last year.
Nice, brother. Nice. So you're not intimidated, right? Which is great, man. You got to go in there and you know, if you hit your marks and hit your notes like you have, very detailed notes, you got as great a shot as anybody out there. You got a great teacher in your dad, and you've been with your dad and Steve have grown up there. Carlos Calzado, what did you cook your chicken in?
Weber
grill. All right, nice, very nice. So what are the plans now? What's the future? Where do you see yourself you like doing this? You still see yourself doing this in a couple of years from now?
Well, I do like doing this. We have a few events coming up, and in the future, I think I might want to open my own restaurant. Not too sure yet what I would want to do, but that is always an option, in the end. And I have all the tools I need for it. I know what I'm doing, hopefully.
Go do the food truck, man. Go hit up your boys, go to some high school events and park your truck out there. And
like, is Grant still on the line?
Yeah.
San Antonio location.
Yeah. Maybe go in there and work for Pinkerton for a little bit and see what all it entails on there. I'm sure he could use a grand champion pitmaster.
Well,
there he is right there. He is. He's still watching. Always happy to help. You're in San Antonio, right, guys? He's got a place out in San Antonio.
That's right. We'll call him.
Yeah, there he is right there. He's coming off a grand champion himself. Well, man, this has been great. Anything that I forgot to mention or did not know to mention? I like the fact that you went in there with a game plan with your notes and you executed very well in some, that was pretty cold out there. And you mentioned you had some hiccups with the chicken, getting up the temp, but you overcame that. It's man, great job, my man. And winning that junior championship at the San Antonio Stock Show, get to walk the stage. We all didn't get up on stage. I remember you were actually on the stage. So congratulations. What do you remember about that night, just looking out across all those people?
There was a lot. There was a lot of people. I was like,
It's a lot, and well-deserved, my man. Continued success, and I can't wait to see how you do in some of these adult contests or these, barbecue contests. And I saw your shirt, Scott. Was that the Palm Fest? What you got on the shirt right there?
We got Palm Fest. Palm Fest.
Anything coming up for you, Scott? Are you just gonna be his sous chef going forward?
Yeah, I'm just the prep guy. So we haven't even started prepping for meals yet. That means tonight and then all day tomorrow. And normally our program was always starting on Wednesdays, but
meat prep Wednesday.
Unfortunately, I actually had to work this week, so I had to go into work. Yeah, it was terrible. So, but yeah, whatever he wants to do, we'll do. We got a few contests coming up, a few catering gigs, and then we'll go from there.
Awesome.
We'll see.
Awesome. Well, hey, Tait, it's been a pleasure getting to meet you, getting to talk to you a little bit. I got to meet you in Uvalde, and I did see you doing your thing out there, and I did have some of that brisket. It was great, man. You did great out there, and I'm not surprised one bit, man. Keep doing what you're doing and go out there and kick our butts whenever you come across us out there.
Thank you.
All right, Scott, thank you very much, buddy. Appreciate you. And we'll see you guys soon on the trail, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
All right, there they are, Scott and Tait Stanush. What's that?
It was good to see those guys.
So you've seen this kid grow up from probably a baby, huh?
Dude, 3 years old, man. 3-4 years old. Great kid. He's always to see him where he is now. He's just it's awesome to be able to watch him. It's a personal story because I've known Scott my whole entire life, and but going to tailgate parties with Taiter and dragging this kid to cook-offs, dragging him to tailgate parties in Austin, and then seeing him get involved in Kids Q, and not just get involved. He was competitive. And then now see him do these things. And like you said, he does rock climbing. The kid does rock climbing. And he's a sharp kid. It's really been a pleasure to watch him grow up.
How much pride do you take in the fact that your organization are springing some of these kids. My son was doing Kids Q Nation events, and he won his big grand championship for HLSR. Now you have HLSR and San Antonio Rodeo under your wing, I would say, Steve.
That I guess I don't look at it like that. It's, to me, the whole goal with Kids Q Nation when we started was just to create a set of rules and a common set of rules no matter where you go, right?
Right.
And so now what you have is a lot of other organizations have started a new Kids Q group, or they run Kids Qs through their organizations now, which is, that was all I wanted to begin with, was just create consistent rules. So when these kids go compete somewhere, they know what they're doing, and it's the same everywhere they go.
You're not late, Chris. What's up? Hey, Max. Congratulations last weekend in Beeville.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've met, but next time we need to meet up, Max. Yeah, dude, I think you are a part of this journey, man. Yeah, you've given a venue for these kids to go out there and compete and experience the highs and lows, like we talked about that, and learn from doing it. And that hands-on is how I learn, right? Hands-on, and you go out there and you teach them, and they're doing the rubs, if they're injecting, or if they're marinating, whatever it is, they're still working with the fire, they're still working with the pit, they're still flipping it, and they're still turning it in. They're getting this whole experience. And hats off to you and Kids Q Nation.
Thank you, man,
for allowing that kind of venue out there for them to do that. So, all right. There they were, Scott and Tait Stanush, and Steve Jimenez. Now let's switch it up right quick. We're not going to switch it up. We're going to talk some SCA, guys. I know a lot of the guys are barbecued, but let's learn about this SCA. I know it's been around for a few years now, probably going on 6, 7. I'm not sure. We'll bring Miss Shawna Joe Roppolo in. How are you, Miss Shawna?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Are you in the next room?
I am.
I said, do you want them together? And I was like, I don't know how that works. You could probably go in there now, but whatever. I think this is great right now. You're actually coming in clear. Are y'all on the same internet? Or had Steve on his own separate internet?
No,
Because
we got him hardwired in. He was on Wi-Fi earlier, so we got him fixed.
There you go. Well, he's looking clear, and then that's why you're there. You got to keep this man in line and keep him square. And obviously, you have been after hearing his results, because I know that could have never happened ever. 14th in the world in the SCA if it had not been for Miss Shawna Joe.
I know. I guess I'm just going to teach.
You are an excellent teacher. You have been, sharing your knowledge in this sport. It's growing, right? It's still growing. I mean, I know it took off to this meteoric rise, and I've had Brett on the show before. Brett, excuse me. I've heard Brett on the show before talking about, how this thing started and how big it's become. And to hear, the World Championship had, 400 plus teams from all over the world coming to this event. So what have you seen and when did you start doing this thing?
Yeah. So I came in cooking. SCA started in, I think their first event was 2013. First championship was 14. And then I started, and I started cooking September of 15. So
you've been pretty much from the infancy.
From the beginning. Yeah. My dad started cooking in 14, went to the first championship. And so I've been around it the whole time. But I just started cooking a year later. And I mean, the first championship, we had about 50, 60 teams. It was at Billy Bob's right there in the alleyway, the front door of Billy Bob's. So we set up right there, about 50 teams. And then the next year we were still at Billy Bob's, and it just continually got bigger and completely grew out of that place. And then it moved to one other spot there in Fort Worth area and has been at Will Rogers ever since, and just keeps growing.
I attended that event with, I didn't cook it, but I attended it with Joey Machado, probably in 2019. And it was already large at that point. And it is a cool venue. It is great. It's, centrally located, I guess, for the US to go out to Fort Worth and get in there. But coming back to what I said about how Steve would have never done that well. He's like, Steve was my teammate at the SCA World Championships. We got clobbered. So you're definitely rubbing off on Steve as far as how that. Cassie has a comment. Shawna's classes are awesome. I've had some success as well. Tim is flipping the script. He said he keeps her in line.
Old man speaking right there.
Okay, look, we didn't ask for him to comment on here tonight.
Love me some Tim Kirkendall. Carlos says Kids Q year-end cook-off. Steve,
we're in talks.
Lissa is asking. That's his daughter. She finished.
We are in some talks.
She was the RGC over at Austin Rodeo. So so Shawna, so all right, so you've been doing this for quite a while. You obviously have classes now. Talk about where you feel you're at right now in your SCA thing. Right now, you're just going to be still competing or helping Steve and pushing him
So to be honest, like I love cooking. But we've got the rub out, and that's, I'm kind of going towards, there's so many like rubs in the competition world. So I'm going more towards backyard cooks. And then we've got the Pickle Pico, that's just a completely different venue. So I've got a lot going.
Wait, what is this? Pickle Pico?
Yeah, remember, these are barbecue folks. They haven't heard about the Pickle Pico.
Yeah.
So I have a love for pickles and tacos. And so I came up with, using my rub, we've come up with, it's a pico consistency, but it's pico. So we've got it co-packed. We use it as, it's like a hot dog. It came up as a hot dog topper, like you put it on hot dogs. And now we've put it on tacos, on fish. People have put it in there like beans and cornbread. Yeah. Kind of it's a all around product that's brand new. I'm sure there's something like that in the market, but it's
I don't
very
know.
different. So
it sounds unique. Brett says I was lucky enough to meet Shawna and Steve at the Worlds. Just wonderful people. Can't wait to see them again. Yes. And Cassie, I get my Pico in a couple of weeks. Going to use it for competition very soon. Oh, nice.
Yeah, so that's exciting. So she's over in Australia, and Brett actually picked her up a jar at Worlds and is taking it over there. And they've got a hot dog ancillary, and she's going to use it in the ancillary. So that'll be pretty cool to have it over there in Australia. But that's where my, the Ren Raz, that's the partner, my business partner with the Pico, and we're hoping to launch multiple products in this line that will use my rub. So that's where it will center around products that center around my rub. So,
and where can people find these Pico? I know I've seen your rubs at some barbecue stores.
Yeah, so
at the barbecue stores,
mainly barbecue stores. The Pico, we've got it in a few barbecue stores so far, but you can go to my website and order it also, which is sassyjoegrillers.com. And I've been shipping it out myself right now. So that's where we're, pretty busy with that and getting started. So I'll cook some. I was fortunate enough to get my ticket already for next year.
Nice.
I won Beaumont cook-off right before Worlds. So that was a monkey off my back. So I told Steve that I may, sit back a little bit this year and just go and support him. And he's kind of on the rise of cooking. And I feel that I'm not really on the downhill, but it's not, he's up there and he wants to cook all the time. And I would rather support him and help him. And I concentrate on some of the business ventures.
Well, I'd say it's working well. If you can get this man to finish 14th in the world at the SCAs.
He does really well. He has, we work well together. I think we both can be a little high strung at times, and we just bring each other down. But we do work well together, and he's really got a passion, for the cooking and doing well. And so I'd like to see that. Of course, I want to go to finals and championship and make finals and walk too. But I've not made it. That goal has not been met yet. So of course I want to do that, but you'll see. I'll be at cook-offs this year with steak, but I told him there'll be a few that I don't cook and I'm just going to go and hang out, and support him.
Chicken Fry. She's been a great coach for Steve.
Bill,
and it's funny. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's awesome to have her support and to have somebody alongside cooking with you that knows your process and can tell you when you need to do something. But you can ask her. We have completely different processes. We cook the same steak. We'll pick out the same steak, but the way we treat that steak and the way we cook it are two totally different things. But I can tell you that having someone like her that is one supportive of me as a person, but then also knows my process. We were in Beaumont and she's like, "Hey, aren't you going to start your fire?" I'm like, "No, I got time." I printed my timelines wrong. She knew it was time for me to start my fire.
Yeah.
That's just freaking awesome to be able to go to a cook-off with your best friend and then also who knows what you're doing and can tell you, "Hey, fix your stuff, bro. You're competing today."
Hector Villanueva is in the comments. Blessings, Rob and Steve. Thank you. Hector and Roel had a big grand championship at the Hornets Nest down in Beeville.
Congrats, Hector and Roel. I miss you guys.
Yeah, they were awesome. Is it true that Pickle Pico is named after your nickname for Steve?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, it could be a new nickname for Steve. Pickle Pico. I think it works.
The shirt. I am getting a shirt made.
We'll stick with Stevie Joe.
that one is better. Shawna Joe and Stevie Joe.
Yeah.
That one did well, I think. And I pat myself on the back for that one. That one did well. So you got your rubs now. You're doing classes. I know people can find your classes, and you can give a shout out. Where can they find the classes?
I've got my state class at Barbecue Champs Academy.
What's up, Roy?
There's lots of good classes on there, and I was honored that I was one of the first ones to video those classes back when Mike started them in 2019. So there's a lot of great cooks out there and that have classes, but we all do something different, and that's what's good about those classes. And the steak ones, I know a lot of these people, they order multiple people's classes because they can learn. You're taking that more of a process and technique for either one, barbecue or steak, not necessarily for their recipes.
Sure.
So taking something and making it yours has been, I've heard so many people say I've taken your class and Terry Roan's class and different people and just have taken things from each class.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And made it their own, so those classes do well. I mean, that's something that was new back then that started, and that it seems to be doing well today.
Those feeds come across my Facebook feed, right? But I never see you. The only person that I ever see on these ads right now is this guy right here. He's the only one. And he's like, "I'm Bill Purvis with Chicken Fried Barbecue." And it's like every, few scrolls is like, "There's Bill again."
There he is.
Bill. He's such a nice guy.
It's Bill. It's Bill. It's all Bill right now. Bill Purvis all the time.
Okay. Bill is doing awesome.
I'm kidding. I love Bill. Sorry. Where can I find those classes? There you go. Right there.
It's barbecuechamps.com.
There's Bill. LOL. Yes. Yes. Oh, look, Cassie's got you. She's got Greg Minotti makes a great comment. The very first SCA cook I did, I got my ass handed to me, and Steve hung around, and we probably talked for an hour of him just giving me some tips and helping me out. Awesome dude. Yeah, Steve is an awesome dude.
Greg was fun to talk to, man. Like this was at the what cook-off was this, Shawna? It was the one.
I wasn't there. It was one I didn't go to.
Rob, it was the one that they had the steak cook-off on Friday night and the barbecue Saturday, and I didn't go by and see you, and I gave you a hard time for not coming to see me.
Hold him and hit him.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
And so it was interesting. We go into the meeting, and it's you had probably a 50-50 mix of barbecue and steak guys. And having been a barbecue guy, it's funny to hear the barbecue guys come in and talk trash about the steak guys. But end of the day, it was so cool to watch some of the barbecue guys walk, because So I talked to Greg for a while, but watch some of these barbecue guys walk, and look, they can cook a good steak. There's no doubt about it. They know how to cook.
Yeah.
But it was really a lot of fun to watch those guys. But talk to Greg after. One of the nicest guys I've met recently, and I'd love to go cook a barbecue comp next to that dude and talk and drink some whiskey with that guy.
He's a good time. Yeah, for sure. Him and James Minotti again.
Oh, James too.
Made this amazing. Can y'all see that? I wish I could get that close. Look, I'm knocking shit down, but that is amazing. That is a handcrafted Minotti Wood Products product right there, where you can hold up to 21 buckles. I don't have.
There you go, Shawna.
I know. I told Steve, I said, he showed me that. And I was like, I would love that. I said, but I got to win a freaking belt buckle before I can get one of those. I grew up in rodeos, so I have tons of belt buckles for rodeo.
He can make them
for cooking.
He can make them in smaller sizes to where you don't if you don't have Bill, I think has 3 of these already because he has that many buckles.
Right.
But so he can make them in all different sizes, or maybe 2 sizes. James, you correct me if I'm wrong, but it's amazing. It's laser engraved. It's got a light in it. Let me turn the light on real quick. Even though it's really bright, I love the product. I love.
Oh wow,
that is bright.
I think it's those buckles. All the buckles you have in there amplify that light.
I can't hear you. What was that?
It's all the buckles you have in there. It just amplifies the light coming off of there.
Maybe, but no, I need to get a new camera is what it is. And then once I get that new camera, it should do there. Kids Q Nation founder, former IBCA regional director. What's next for Steve? Roddy wants to know.
I think it's
top 10 in the worlds next year.
No, it's more family related. It's be a good figure for Emma Jo. Watch her go play softball, go cook when we have time. But it's really more slow down and do the things the kid wants to do right now and to be a part of her life. That's it, man.
Greg, Rob, whose buckles did you borrow to fill that thing up? Ty, you know what to do after that comment about whose buckles did you borrow to fill that thing up. Looking at a distance on my phone, it looks like a cityscape at night. Yeah. See, that's what we do here, Cassie. We try to there it is. Look, there he is. There he is.
Oh,
and the little guy, little Rob, there he is right there. That's my producer Ty working his magic back there. So Shawna, you kind of mentioned what your immediate plans are now that you're gonna continue to pimp and pump your boy up there, Steve, doing that, and then selling your maybe formulating some new stuff coming out as well.
Yeah, we hope to get new stuff, and just like he said, we've got Emma coming up. She's 11, and she's playing softball. We're trying out for cheerleader. We're going into middle school. Just as you know, they get older, they get more involved, and I want her to be involved as much as she wants to, and so that takes a lot of our time, and we're going to support her and cook when we can. And, we can always come back to cooking,
for sure.
She
grows up one time. So
that's the truth. I talked with Johnny Joseph last week, and in barbecue, you don't know Johnny. Johnny's a multi-time world steak champion and good friend.
I love Johnny. I cooked with him at the Memphis in May. I love that man.
Yeah, and he called last week. We were talking, and we talked about Emma cooking or Emma softball stuff. And he said, "Steve, these cook-offs will be there for you when she's done." And it's a message I've been kind of receiving from people, or from me, and then hearing it from Johnny.
Roddy, is it gonna be a steak wedding or barbecue wedding?
Tacos.
Roddy, I gotta have something here first.
Oh,
tacos! I can tell you this will be tacos.
Calling you out right there, Steve.
Tacos. Probably tacos and pickles and
a pizza.
That's what she said, by the way. Pickles and tacos. All good. No, it's right, and I know the softball. Just seeing the photos, she looks like she's pretty good at what she does. She's catching in these tournaments, so I know that's a lot going on right there. And there's probably a tournament every weekend if you really wanted to find them That's crazy.
It's a lot. And, she cooked when she was younger. And
hey, shots fired. Bill made a comment. Hey, are you here on the steak or are you here for the barbecue? Because you're like left or right. Pick an aisle. Pick a side of the aisle.
I think Bill just volunteered to cook barbecue.
Oh, look at that. Propose on the So Smoking Gooder show, Steve. Right now. Let's go. No pressure.
We'll put a sign on when people walk in, steak and barbecue, and you just pick your side when you walk in.
Quit being a dumbass, Steve-O, and put a ring on. Oh my God. Okay, this is getting out of hand. Poor Steve. He's
okay, we'll go back to the cooking topic.
We're going.
Oh no, man. Like it's really great that people, I'll tell you, like it's really awesome because Shawna and I have been together for almost 2 years now, and it's really great that my friends and my barbecue people are going, hey dummy, put a ring on that. The fact that everybody's enjoyed her and been around her. The folks that have gotten to meet her have just, she hears me talk about everybody back in Texas all the time. Yeah. And the folks she's met have been so great to her, and that means the world to me. So to all the barbecue people that have been great to her, appreciate you. She's pretty good. She's pretty
we really
good.
have. We talk about the barbecue family, and then we talk about steak family. And so there's a lot of people that kind of say the same goes for steak side, like I've been around since the beginning of SCA, and I'll start talking about people, and I would like, Steve, you haven't met them? It was like, no, like, everybody. So no, I haven't. And so when they meet him, it's the same. Everybody.
It's like all the Shawna effect. When we first started dating, I think I got 100 new friends from SCA.
Love you guys. Yeah.
She got like 5 from barbecue.
That's not true. She can walk through a barbecue contest and everybody's like, oh my God, that's Shawna right there. She's walking through.
He kept saying that. And
what's she doing with Steve? What the hell?
That's probably a good question. Yes.
Roddy said, love me some Stevie Joe. There it is. Can I get y'all to stick around while I do the Raps and Graphics recap and the upcoming events, and then we'll close this thing out.
Yep.
And then I asked, we have Shawna, I'm going to give her proper props to sign out of here. But real quick, let's do this real quick. We got the Bull Printing Raps and Graphics wrap-up recap. A lot of the guys that are in the comments still, we're going to talk about them right here. The Harvest in the Champions Barbecue Alliance. We have the Harvest Christian Academy Cook-Off. If y'all need to refill, if y'all need to take a break, y'all can do that right now. I'm going to be about, probably 5 minutes. Harvest Christian Academy Cook-Off. The grand champion was EJ De Leon from Los Buzzards Barbecue. And of course, we have the RGC Alonzo Reyes III from Smoking Kings Barbecue. In Gatesville, Texas, the Station Spring Fest. The grand champion was Brandy Oliver from KB Barbecue. The RGC was Robert Sullivan from Bears Den Barbecue. Over in Alvin, we just mentioned 190 plus teams out in Alvin, Texas. Grand champion, my man, Mr. Grant Pinkerton from Pinkerton's Barbecue, and his competition name is Come and Eat It. Congratulations, Grant. Very happy to see that. That was really awesome. The RGC, here's another one right here. The son of Dustin Stanley, Corbin Stone from Smoking Donkeys Barbecue. Congratulations, Corbin. I know your parents were really proud of you. I saw the comments. So congratulations, Corbin. That was really cool. 190 plus teams. A big time event out in Alvin. Over in the Beatville Spring Fest, where I was in the Hornet's Nest, and I got stung, people. This is a who's who of barbecue out there. It was a great time. Matias Serrata did an amazing job putting everything together. We had a fireworks show even for the award ceremony. So great job, everybody around involved in B County for the Beeville Spring Fest. The grand champion, Hector Roel Villanueva from Killer V's Barbecue, the RGC. This guy is continuing his meteoric rise. I'll say it. Kevin Hernandez from My Pits Are Burning was the RGC. Congratulations, everybody at the Beeville Spring Fest. Okay, over in the IBCA. Guys, there was a lot of contests this weekend. 3rd annual John Heibner Memorial Grand Champion, Dwayne Garber from Mid-Coast Cookers. RGC, Ronnie Mayberry from Smoking Guns. We have the ABC Pro Rodeo Barbecue Cook-Off. The grand champion was Merrick Hager. And the RGC was the co-host of the show last weekend. This guy right here.
Well, hello there. How you doing? I'm Aaron Leslie with Texas Oil Dust. And today, You're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show.
Absolutely. You're watching the So Smoking Gooder Show, Mr. Aaron Leslie, over in Austin, the ATEX, Austin, Texas Barbecue Showdown. This was held at the Circuit of Americas. Pretty cool. The grand champion was Robert Smith. Oh my gosh, here we go again. Robert Smith from First Class Barbecue. And here we go. That's Tom and Bell. Here we go right here. Boom.
Oh, that's a fun guy right there.
One of my favorites. He's a great guy. If you guys have not had a chance to meet Robert Smith, I know a lot of steak people are watching as well. If you guys have not had a chance to meet Robert Smith, one of the classiest dudes, or great guys in barbecue, shares a bunch of knowledge, just a great ambassador for barbecue. The RGC, and I bet he was in hog heaven right here. Jason Sagmiller, Race Crew Drum Smokers at the Circuit of Americas, having an RGC, getting to go to the big stage in the center of the racetrack. What do they call that? What do you call that? Winter Circle. Congratulations. Comfort Little League opening day. Their results were not posted as of yet. I was hoping that was done. It's not. DCJRA Benefit Barbecue Cook-Off Grand Champion Fidel Sanchez III from Smoky Cattle. RGC Carlos Enriquez from Los Milagros Q Crew. Guy's killing it right now. And over in Norman G, the NG Barbecue Cook-Off Grand Champion Amy Wilson. I think she's still maybe watching, from Crooked Crown Cookers. And the RGC was Michael Kamich from Too Hot to Handle. And two more, I think. There we go. And LSBS, Lone Star Barbecue Association, Clear Lake Elks Lodge Grand Champion. Is that it right? No, because I think I have the wrong cook-off. But the grand champion in Lone Star last weekend was David Leffler. RGC was Randall Johnson from Ocala Q. If someone knows what contest that was, please put it in the comments. And over in the Outlaw Barbecue Association, go for it, Steve. Producer Ty checking in. Risk it for the brisket. The grand champion was Cody Malin from Smoking Aces. RGC Vinny McNamara from Steel Smoke Barbecue. Granite Shoals, thank you. Granite Shoals. Harold, thank you very much for that. Granite Shoals is where that was. Yay, Jason Sagmiller. Yeah, Sagmiller. Hector, if you haven't had a hug from Robert Smith, yeah, that'll crack your back, man. That's a good one right there. No sound. There was no sound, Jared. Could y'all hear that? Everybody heard that. The videos. Anyway, let me pull this back down. Remove. And then we have the upcoming events segment, sponsored by the Briscoe Ranch Cook-Off at the Crossroads, Uvalde, Texas. That's going to be December 8th and 9th. No sound. What is going on? Oh, Robert was muted. But you heard it, right?
We could hear it.
Yeah.
Ty, could you hear it? Tate and Scott's down there.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Scott can hear it. All right, there we go. Sorry, guys. I don't know what happened there. Champions Barbecue Alliance coming up this weekend. Excuse me, a lot. We got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 events. In Car Fest in San Antonio. Still time to get in for that. We got the Guns and Hoses. All of these you still have time to get in for. Guns and Hoses in Angleton, Texas coming up. The inaugural Taste of Texas Barbecue Cook-Off in Hidalgo,
thank
Texas.
God they called it inaugural.
What?
Thank God they called it inaugural and not first annual.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? Inaugural. The Christine Volunteer Fire Department Barbecue Cook-Off in Christine, Texas. And I will be here. Somebody asked that question, where will I be? I'm going to be kicking off the Texas Six-Pack over at the Friends of Flint Cook-Off in Victoria, Texas. If you guys don't know about the Texas Six-Pack, that is Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation, which is a new sponsor of the show coming up here in June. But they're already heads up. They're already involved with us already. In IBCA, we have the 2023 AGC. I think it's a constructors cook-off in Houston, barbecue cook-off. It's in Houston, Texas. The 33rd annual Roughneck Chili and Barbecue Cook-Off in Luling. We got the 3rd annual Meat Burning Contest in La Feria, Texas. Am I saying that right? Trevor Lee Chesson Memorial Cook-Off in Winnie. And we have the Winfest Barbecue Cook-Off in Portland, Texas. And over in Lone Star, Ty, get ready, Ty. In Lone Star, we got the Shelby Cook-Off or Shelby County Grill Fest in Center, Texas. And over in the Outlaw Barbecue Association, we have the Highland Volunteer. The Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 6974 Stars and Stripes in Burnett, Texas. All right, that's what's going on this weekend in barbecue. Man, I think I counted 11, 12 cook-offs this weekend, coming off of like a 13, 14 one. My goodness. And they say barbecue is dying. Now, SCA probably, how many SCAs are going on this weekend all across the country?
It's interesting because there's a lot of them going on all over the place outside of Texas lately. So I know there's one in Sealy, Texas this weekend.
Oh, okay.
And then a couple probably up north.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many, but throughout the summer, I mean, there's been at times there'll be 15 in a weekend just all over the country.
There's not a whole bunch of joint ones. Maybe there are. Maybe I'm just not aware of them. But, there used to be, it seems like there were more often where you'd have a Friday night SCA and then a Saturday, CBA or IBCA, for example. Those don't happen too much.
No, not as much. And I don't know, even in the beginning, we could go to Dallas, Fort Worth area, Houston area, pretty much any given weekend. And now I think just the attraction, like it's become truly nationwide, and all the people up north, like there's more cook-offs north, than down here. So we're starting to have to travel more, if we want to go somewhere. So
no sound
there's
here
not
either.
as many in our area anymore.
And I have one to bring up. That's why I kind of mentioned that. But Chuck, thank you, Chuck. KCBS Cedar Fest in Cedar Park, Texas. I don't know if that's full or not. But yeah, if you guys are into some KCBS events, like we got one coming up. But they're far and few here between in Texas. But we got KCBS event in Cedar Fest KCBS event in Cedar Park, Texas, which is right outside of Austin. So if you guys want to do that, looking forward to high stakes so we can mess up some steaks. But I was talking about Yannick was on earlier, the patient housing assistance cook-off in October. That is going to be a joint SCA, CBA, and Tomball at the Tomball VFW drink. That's coming up in October. So if you guys are looking for one that you can do some steaks, generally an entry in steak is still, I don't know, what is it?
160.
160. Okay. Yeah. And generally payouts, is it still $1,000 for first? Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Smoking and toasting. There he is. He had some walks. Oh, sorry. It's full, yet he still wants me to mention it. There you go, Chuck. Rockin' A. It's full, so you can't get in, but that is going on this weekend in Cedar Park, Texas, that KCBS event. Okay, and some show notes, lastly, before we get out of here. Some show notes. That's the wrong one. That is the wrong one. Did I delete it?
Come on, Rob.
Did I? No. Hey, that was our Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation Veteran Spotlight last week. Joe Valpita, 24 years of service in both the U.S. Army and National Guard. He competes under Smokin' V's Barbecue. Joe has been interested in barbecue his entire life. A couple memorable moments. RGC with the Texas Chrome Heroes Foundation in Llano in 2021. And in 2022, he was cooking with his great nephew at the Lost Lagoon. Yeah, Roddy, I agree with you. That's Joe Valpita. Thank you for your service, sir. I appreciate you. He was tuning in last week for sure. Roddy, barbecue in Texas is still growing strong. Yep. So what I was saying to preview some show notes, we had last week Aaron Leslie and Charles Tant. Aaron was the co-host this week. Obviously, SteveJimenez, our co-host. Shawna, Joe. We had Scott and Tait Stanush joining us. And next week, we've got Amy Young. She runs a Made for Kansas City contest, and it's only available to Kansas City residents, or if you're a barbecue cooker in the Kansas City area, you can only attend this event, and the winner gets to be showcased in the new Kansas City Municipal Airport. So pretty cool. So she'll be on next week to talk about that. And the winners of last year's event, who are now in the brand new terminal, are going to be on as well. They're called Smoking Magic. So they'll be on next week. We'll be back talking barbecue. For those that don't, they're like, oh my God, look at all this steak conversation. But we go, here's Winston. What a great show. Can't wait to watch again. Thank you, Winston. I appreciate that. 313 cooks cooking CBA events this past weekend. There you go. There's Roddy, the vice president of CBA. His counterpart is Butter, the vice president of IBCA. There he goes. Play the clip. Play the clip.
See that arm wrestle?
Stevie Joe co-host. Yes, I got them both here right now. So it is, when they're both, what was it? Brad Pitt and Angelina. What would they call them? Brangelina. Now we got Steve. Now we got Stevie Joe. When y'all are both together, and if I just see Steve by himself, it's Pickle Pico. There Pickle it is, Pico. Right there. there it is.
It's
Pickle
fair, man.
Pico. Shawna, before we get out of here, anybody you want to thank? Because you've been doing it, like you said, you've been doing this for a little while now, and you've had lots of success, and you've helped people along the way. It's great to have you finally join the show. And anything you want to say before we get you out of here?
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on. And
absolutely.
This has been, I've cooked for a while, and I truly do enjoy, teaching everybody and kids and, bringing them up. And then, but I do, teaching is, I've joked sometimes and said sometimes maybe I teach better than I cook at times, but I do love to teach. So I appreciate everyone that's, bought classes, that's asked me questions, at cook-offs and just contacted me. I truly do enjoy that. Just, thank the sponsors that have, helped me along the way. I've obviously used my rub, which is a Sassy Joe Steak Shake. And then Papa Joe Grilling Supplies out of Azle, and Poncho and Lefty. He's out of Sanger. I use his stuff, and then we've started using the Texas Original Charcoal this year, and does great. So shout out to Joey for making an amazing product for us, everyone to use and get out there on the market. And Steve, for sure, it is amazing to cook along, beside him and each other. We help each other. He's makes me a better cook and calms me down when I need calming down. And we just help each other and teach each other along the way. So it's really good to have a partner, that you can do that with and travel and enjoy seeing the world and doing something that you love together. So appreciate you having me on the show and hope to be back again. And
you will be back again, Shawna. Thank you so much for joining the show. Prior to getting to know you this past year, two years or however long it's been, I've been following you, and it's great to get to meet you, get to know you a little bit. You're a wonderful person, and you do share. And I say a lot of people are great ambassadors for barbecue. You're a great ambassador for this entire sport, and you're now helping Steve with the Kids Q Nation. You're helping Steve, get to 14th in the world. You said you're a better teacher. Absolutely, you're a better teacher right now, because look at that. You get this guy that Roddy had him, and they got clobbered, like he said, and then now you can get him to 14th in the world.
Yeah,
my goodness. So thank you very much for joining the show, Shawna. I'm gonna drop you down. Don't go anywhere. I know Tait and Scott are still there. Ty, my man, is still there. So just hang out real quick before we wrap this up. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. You're amazing. All right. There she was, Shawna Joe. When y'all are together. Oh, she's gone now. So you're now Pickle Pico, Steve.
Pickle Pico.
Pickle Pico. It's great. Cracker Barrel Barbecue made a comment. Who's this Rob chick? That's me. Oh, that's me. And then Serge. Been binging the show for a week from episode 1. That's my awesome. Man, right
that
here
is, man, somebody owes that guy a beer.
Absolutely. Serge, reach out to me. Find me on social media, Robert Rocha. I want to send you something. If you've been binging this show for a week, you deserve something.
At least.
Come on. Come on, right here. Shout out to Greg Minotti right here with Drop Time Smoke. We just talked about it. This is him. Does that look familiar to you, Steve?
Can't see it.
Oh, you can't see it. This is his shirt.
Oh, there he is.
There he is. There he is.
That's the guy I talked to.
That's the guy. That's the guy. Shout out to Greg Minotti with Drop Time Smoke. Shout out to James Minotti with Chillin' and Grillin' and Minotti Woodcrafters.
James does some impressive work. I've seen it on Facebook.
Impressive work. He not only does these right here, producer Ty. I'm getting there, Bell. Thank you. I'm getting there. But he does impressive work. If you guys are following him, give him a like, give him a follow. Minotti Woodcrafters on Facebook. He is producing not only these, he's producing a lot of the foil boxes that you have seen. If you got your hands on one of those, you need foil. SCA guys, if you don't know, contact Minotti Wood Crafters.
I want a smaller container for foil. We don't take the big ones you guys take.
Okay. Hey.
Honestly, if you can make a smaller one.
Another market for James right
SCA
there.
Market.
SCA market. This guy puts laser engraved logos. You can see that right there. You can go to my page and see this. But laser engraved logos. He can make that work. He can do anything. This guy's a master woodcrafter. So shout out to James Minotti with Minotti Woodcrafters. That thing lights up. It's beautiful. I've got a full box out there. He's making trophies. So if you guys are out there and promoters, you need some fine trophies for contests, hit them up right there. All right. Let me think if I'm going to shout out to our guests this week, Scott and Tait Stanush. Appreciate that. It was great to meet them and introduce you guys to them and hear the Tait's, what he's going on right now from starting. And Steve, you've seen him, like I said, from a young kid doing this thing to now. And now he's competing with the adults. So that's really cool. We've had Shawna Joe on here. She's talking about what she's done. Like I said, I've followed her from for a while now, and I got to meet her. Now that you guys are a thing, got to meet her, and it's been great. She's a wonderful person. And producer Ty is back in there. I got to get Ty in here. Ty, how are you? How'd the show go, buddy?
Hey, it's good. Good with me. I thought it was awesome.
A man of few words right there.
Man of many
producer
words.
Ty. Ty, I got to thank you, man. It's been fun doing this for the last few weeks, and I can't wait to see what we do going on there. Look at gooder producer, veteran, and happy dude right there, Ty Cobb. All right, Ty, play that walkout music before we get out of here. And Steve, thank you for being my co-host for the night. I appreciate that. Did you have a good time?
Absolutely, man. Always a good time with you, my brother. Thank you.
Absolutely. You did great. And it's great to see, what you're doing right now with this SCA thing. And I know you're going to be doing some barbecue events. So the guys that are out there watching, you'll see Steve on the trail, I'm sure.
Got my race crew drums. I'm ready to go.
Yeah, you got the race crew drums. You are ready to grow. Shout out to Jason Sagmiller. There you go. You gave him a shout out. Great show. Taz is still watching, and he was in with 801. What's up, Taz? Thank you so much. All right, guys, that's going to wrap up tonight's show. Again, tomorrow or next week, Wednesday at 8 o'clock. You guys know where to be. We're going to have hold on real quick. I got some comments here. I want a shirt, Greg Minotti.
Yes. Same here, bro.
Person invites all Palm Fest Southern Coast Barbecue. All right, there we go. There's a Winston there. You can get into Palm Fest coming up. I think, is that this weekend? Is that what they mentioned as well? Grady Speed got to mention when Kids Q Nation started, my daughter got a second place at Turn and Burn out of 90 kids, and I cried like a baby in front of the stage. Definitely got called out.
You see a guy with the size of Grady Speed cry, you remember that forever.
Grady, great guy as well. Fat guy, mullet man shirt heading your way, big dog. All right. There it is right there. Great show as always. No after party tonight. Sorry. Another great show. Belle, she's coming in. That's not Belle. That's Tim. Same almost logo. There's Tim. Thank you very much. Dean Henry, thank you. All right, Night Boys. There he is. Johnny Maggs coming in from the East Coast. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys watching. An hour and a half in. You guys are still doing this. I love you guys. Thank you very much. For my special co-host, SteveJimenez, for my producer, Ty, I'm Robert Rocha. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday. We are out. Later.